So, big question of the day. Have you ever walked out of a movie? And I've got a couple of stories that were prompted by something yesterday. I shared the story on Twitter. Have you ever walked out of a movie?
Me? Yeah, I walked out of Gods of Egypt. I don't even know, maybe less than 20 minutes into the movie. I couldn't take it anymore. And I was dragged to it knowing that it was going to be bad. Dude, I had no idea it was going to be that bad. And so we walked out of Gods of Egypt and walked into Deadpool, and then everything was okay.
It's probably a wise choice. So I've got 2 times I've walked out of movies, and it's basically the same story. So back in the year 2000, I asked a girl from church out on a date, and we went to the movies. Of all the movies we could pick, American Psycho. Take a girl from church to go see American Psycho. Now, if you haven't seen American Psycho, this movie is like proudly as not church friendly as you can imagine. I mean, it's the movie starts off with Christian Bale walking around naked in his house, watching pornography and on one TV and Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the other TV, prostitutes, axe murder. And so around the time that there's an orgy with a couple of prostitutes, we're like, I think we picked the wrong movie. And we left. Now, when I told the story in my tweet yesterday, I made it sound like I was the one that was like, hey, want to go see American Psycho? That's not what happened. She wanted to go see American Psycho. She's the one that was like, it's like a serial killer movie. Could be pretty cool. Like, okay. And like, we're 5 minutes into it. It's like, not a good first date movie. Not a good first date movie. Second one that I walked out of was Crank. Sort of the same story, except a few years later, I'm in Bible college and take a girl from Bible college to go see Crank, thinking it's going to be like The Transporter, which, I mean, it's kind of like The Transporter, except that The Transporter drank a can of Red Bull and was influenced by Grand Theft Auto, and then injected heroin straight into the heart with some adrenaline. That's, the difference between the two. And so, another one I made about 30 minutes into is like, this isn't quite what we were thinking it was going to be. Yeah, so those are the 2 times I've walked out of movies. They were all because they were dates with people from very churchy environments. It took them to hard R movies.
Someone said something in the chat that I thought was pretty funny. They were like, well, I mean, you didn't end up with her, so
the first one.
Maybe this all happened for a reason. This is basically what he's saying.
The first one, that's true. Second one, we are married now. So second one.
Okay. So you did. Oh, you took your wife to go see Crank. Okay.
Crank was my wife that I took on a date to go see Crank. So that one worked out all right. And so she was the one that's like, oh, it's like The Transporter. So that one's like kind of on her. She was the one that's like, yeah. Cool. Jason Statham, Transporter. I love those movies. Not quite the same thing. The other one, the girl that I did not marry, we actually still are Facebook friends. So people keep asking me, have you rewatched the movie since then? It's like, yeah, I've watched both the movies and I enjoy them enough for what they are. I'm not like John Flickinger that has American Psycho as one of my favorite movies of all time or anything like that. But it's an interesting movie. If you can get through it, it's so bonkers and weird. And especially because it's Christian Bale and Reese Witherspoon and Jared Leto in this movie that's just bonkers. It's something special to be seen.